we're going to talk next about is a common problem folks have and seem to have a hard time figuring out how to get it worked out, and that's when the horse pulls back when you tie him. A lot of times horses are started incorrectly and they're not taught to tie when they're young, and they pull back, and if they've broken a couple halters, you know, they realize their own strength, and then you have a problem. So the first thing that I do when a horse pulls back is I try to condition his mind a little bit where, you know, it's an emotional thing for him, and basically the core of the problem is he's not yielding to pressure and he's not willing to yield. So what I'll do before I tie him, I'm going to get him to where if I pull down on my rope, see how this horse will drop his head and he's yielding to pressure. And if I come like this with my rope and I come like this, see how he'll flex his jaw and he'll yield to pressure. Well, if I do that and he gives me resistance and he's stiff about when he feels pressure, well, when he gets tied up and he pulls back, he's going to feel that same resistance and he's going to fight it. So a lot of horses that'll pull back, if I give any down pressure, he's going to resist and want to pick his head up. So there's really no sense wrangling with him, trying to tie him until we get this type of thing worked out. You know, I want this horse to be very, very soft and very relaxed in his eye, be very comfortable with being tied, okay? So say if a horse pulls back, and I can think of one horse that was just like terminal about it. I mean, you could tie this horse up for 15-20 minutes and all of a sudden she'd be pulling back. Well, that was a whole ritual that she had somehow worked out somewhere else that got her out of doing something or got her untied, and took us a little while, and we finally got it to where she'd pull back about 1 out of 10 times. We didn't completely solve the problem because that horse particularly still felt that was an option on occasion. So if they get terminal and deep-rooted about it, it's a problem for sure. So rather than tying the horse up like I normally do, like this, say, I would come and tie my horse like this normally. Well, that horse can pull back, and that is a rigid, abrupt tie. Okay, so if that horse goes to pull back, that's going to hold him within 3 feet. Okay, so you want to make sure you got a good ring or a good hitching rail. You never want to tie to a gate. You never want to tie to a, say, like a fence post or a fence rail that'll bust loose. You want to make sure you got him tied securely, because I could tell you some stories of some catastrophes that didn't turn out too good, where the horse pulled the hitching reel down and drug it away and things like that. You don't want that to happen. I mean, we want this to be a pleasant experience for him to tie. We don't want it to be violent. You know, years ago, I remember I tied a horse to a telephone pole and thought I was going to teach him a lesson. Well, the only person that learned that day was me, okay? So we don't do that anymore. So take your rope like this, come through your ring or over your hitching rail and loop it twice, just like this, okay? Then bring the tail of your rope back to your knot and tie a slip knot like this, okay? So if this horse pulls back, here's what's going to happen. And that 12.5-foot rope is just the right length to where when he pulls back, that'll take the wind out of his sails. It's going to be tied like this. Okay, just like this. So you tie him like this and you go on and do something else and just let him stand here. It's all right. We got all the time in the world to work this out. He doesn't have nothing else to do today but to get this worked out. So if he wants to pull back, he's going to come like this. Then you just walk back over there real quiet and polite. Grab your rope like this. Again. Say, all right, Boots, I'll see you in a little while. And you go do something else. And I found that if you give that horse an ability that when he pulls back, he doesn't feel the resistance, and that thing just kind of comes along with him, he'll quit pulling back. I mean, most of the time, this works very nicely, and it's safe. You know, nobody's going to get hurt, and I've done it every kind of way, and it seems to work the best for me. The main thing is get him preconditioned before you do it, and just be very cautious. Make sure you tie up to something sturdy. You know, don't tie up to something where he can get his legs over top of it or something. You know, it's good business to go get you some heavy rings and put in your barn to tie to. Have that ring about ear level there. Have it up about that height. That's a good height right there. That's all there for a reason. And you know, I just can't overemphasize the importance of this 12.5-foot horseman's rope. We use it for everything. And it's something that you should have with you at all times. And there's so many purposes for it like this. So if you have troubles with a horse pulling back, and if this doesn't work, you can email me or get in touch with me, and we'll figure out something else. But this normally takes care of it, and it just takes a little time and patience like everything else.